Hello and welcome to the first video of a new series of joining us, XNVR crew, on the Formula 1 Fury Road. I'm Darren, XNVR Darren, as you've just seen there, and we're going to start off this online lobby at Kota. I'm in the lobby. I'm actually joined by James and Matt. It is silent for some reason, the reason being that we were collecting footage for another video, and this happened. That McLaren, he's going to be a starring role in this race. We're just going to split the Red Sea and just move up to fourth. Going a bit side by side, corner cutting, don't worry about that. It doesn't matter in an online lobby. It is just hold on and try and survive. That McLaren, he is the other McLaren. They're both going to be playing a vital role in this video. Yeah, it's a standard F1 lobby. We're just going to fast forward here. There's nothing to see for this. 3-4 corners, just slow it down for a second. Now it's when these two, the McLaren and the Racing Point, start to get a little bit spicy, just kind of bedding in their relationship, just getting to know each other. It's endearing. It's one of the main folds of an F1 lobby of you do the little taps, a tap, and that's how you know you're going to start making friends. No, we slowed it down here, going back on the main straight, where the McLaren has taken about 4 or 5 swipes. There he is again. As we stop going into the corner, I get in close in the Williams on the nose cam, and then this straight is where it all starts to happen. So you can see the McLaren just speeding along the outside, another push, and then just wait for the magic as they both are sent, and I'm punted by the McLaren behind me. And now he's made his intentions known. I'm going to go really wide here, because I'm mainly trying to avoid things, mainly just trying to get out of the way. The McLaren dives in. I try and dive in for some reason. Luckily, there's no damage on, otherwise I would have been a wing short. The second McLaren has just gone through. The Racing Point really did cut out at that point. He's since moved back onto the middle ground. I decided to stick it on the outside. The Racing Point has had enough of the second McLaren, and there we go. Both off to go fetch themselves a hot dog. Now, for some reason, this Ferrari's come in out of nowhere. Don't know where he came from. He's just appeared. Good on him. Good on you. So yeah, we're side by side up here. I don't really want any part of this. So I just kind of go wide. I'll slow down a little bit, and yeah, I'll just let him go. So we'll fast forward a few corners, about half of the track actually, and then we go back onto the main straight. It's a straight. You shouldn't really be driving into people, but you know, if you want to, if that's to be fair, that's how F1 lobbies go. So we go back onto the main straight. The McLaren makes it very clear to the Ferrari what's going to happen, and the Ferrari's having absolutely none of it. And there we go, the Ferrari's jumped up the inside. We're joined by another protagonist here in the Haas. The Renault has appeared, and there's also Matt in the background. He's kept his nose clean and out of this race so far. The Ferrari hits the McLaren and sends himself off to the Red Sea. I'm now being pushed wide by the Haas, who's also joined by the Renault. We're going a bit side by side, but that's fine. Side by side is fine. It's nothing too dicey. Until we get a bit dicey there, that's fine. Racing instant, shall we say? Well, that's what I'm going to say. I came out on top, so that's fine. It's not. Sorry. So yeah, we fast forward these few corners. This is probably one of the most action-filled races I've been in for a while. The McLaren goes wide. We will take that. Now, the other Williams, who my teammate, I don't know why that's important, it's not important in a lobby, has decided to leave the lobby, so that's fine. We've now jumped up to second, so that's all good. I'm going to be cutting this around. Like I said, apologies that there's no sound. Apologies as well that I'm using complete line on. Again, I was just using it to try and get some gameplay footage, and it ended up being the Fury Road. You know, it's interesting when that happens, when the opportunity just arises in front of you. That McLaren, as I said, he is the protagonist in all of this, or the antagonist, however you want to see it. He's deciding to dive, and he dives again. He wants absolutely just to get through, so I'm having none of this, so I'm going to dive up and be very heavy on the brakes. But he's still there on the left, and this is the pushing. I'm aiming left, he's aiming right. None of us are going to give up. I end up giving up because it's not worth the fight. His teammate, the McLaren, then appears. And then for this corner, I'm just going to try and dive, and we make it through, but somehow he is still there, and for the first time I think ever, the McLaren decides to give some track position there. And coming around these corners, we're once again watching them. The McLaren does the dive up for first, but he is gone. You can't dive bomb anywhere in the F1 2020 lobby. And the McLaren has been sent off for a hot dog. He has learned his lesson, at least for this race. So, riding on board with me in third place, Matt is currently in the background in fourth. Still not really getting involved, but that's fine. He doesn't need to really get involved. I'm the one that's taking all the battles. Coming in for this corner, the McLaren makes it very obvious for his intentions. The Haas didn't like that, but what he didn't know is I actually gave a little bit of a nudge. Not intentionally, I just kind of didn't realise the braking was there. So the Haas is going to make his intentions known very clear as they send each other off for dinner. Beautiful stuff, romantic stuff. So I have inherited first place. And that is that race done. Now we also see as well in the background that Matt has actually slipped into second place at the same time. So we're going to fast forward to the podiums where I am on top. I'm keeping this part in the video because it's the only time we're going to see it. That I am on top of the podium. There I am, spraying my champagne, lovely stuff, non-alcoholic stuff because I've got another race. And there is Matt to celebrate with me. Now we're here in Mexico. You see Matt in front, James in front of me. He jumps off the line. I jump off the line thinking it's good to go. Obviously there's the other battles, but you know we don't really care about them right now. So I'm at an immediate disadvantage, and I blame James entirely. So, jumping into this corner, I've moved from the back to about 7th. The Red Bull's gone sideways. We're going to hang it on the outside. And then we're just going to hold on. We're going to squeeze past James just because we need to get past him. Because we need to take a drive-through penalty at some point, and we're probably going to take it as soon as possible. So coming into these corners, I can't remember any corner name. I can barely remember Silverstone corner names. We're just going to dive up the inside. There's the racing point from the last round. Diving in, we're going to touch the back of the Red Bull, but that's fine. And then the racing point's going to remind us that we are not invited to that party. Racing point, I'm going to cut the corner again, but again it doesn't matter. These are all about survival. This is a true Drive to Survive. I don't know why this wasn't called Drive to Survive, to be honest. Maybe I should have done. Just a reminder, I need to take my penalty. Yes, thank you. See this corner? It's very dodgy because it's kind of it's a tough left, and then it gets tougher on the outside. It's a terrible corner. So I'm going to dive into the pits, but the actual Red Bull is blocking me there, so I'm going to dive across. Realistically, that probably should have been another penalty, but doesn't matter. Going to fast forward across the pits. I'm looking back to see that James has decided to take his penalty at the same time as me. First lap, get it out the way, cut our losses and count them down. So these are corners where probably the most action is going to happen. Just going for left and right now. This Alpha, he wants to cause a bit of trouble. He notices I'm there, but he doesn't know how close I am, and he swings for me, and he sent himself off for a hot dog around the back of the stands. I hear they're lovely down there. Let me know how it goes. So, swinging around. So I've now gained a place. James behind me, he has not gained a place. Oh, now he has. We're up to 12. Fast forward this section. Fast forward this bit because there's nothing really going on. Now we've caught up with an AlphaTauri. We're at the same section of the S's. Again, can't remember the actual corner name, but I suppose it doesn't really matter. So we're going to tuck ourselves in behind the AlphaTauri. A bit left and right. You can probably tell. I've slowed the video down. You can tell what this is going to happen. He swings out. He swings back in to have a go. He actually bounces off me, but doesn't go anywhere. Now this corner, you know what's going to happen. I jink, move out the way, and he's now gone for a hot dog behind the stand as well. They're very Moorish, those hot dogs behind the stands. Everyone keeps going in. So yeah, we're going to fast forward this bit again, where I just move around with the cameras for absolutely no reason. Slow it down because there's a car parked on the apex there. Don't really know why. Don't know what he's waiting for. Turn into a car park. I thought he was AFK, but then he starts moving again. Maybe, I thought it might have been an attack attempt, but it's not. So, speeding along, I've kind of slipped into no man's land just by myself. Going around these corners, enjoying the track, enjoying the day out. We're on to the last lap as well. Matt has appeared up the road, but he is no way in contention territory. So yeah, this last lap, I spent it on my own. Around the corner, and we're done. And that race is done. So that's race 2 of the Fury Road. We're now in Brazil. Fast forward to Brazil. And 5 lights. Off the line. It's beautiful. It's a great start. The Red Bull gets a slightly better start, but we're at least ahead of the Ferrari behind. Cutting into, I want to say the center S's, correct me if I'm wrong. Speed around the corner. Now I've got the Ferrari just sniffing down the outside. I'm just going to block him off. He's going to get a bit of slipstream because the slipstream is extremely powerful in this game. But we're still going to cut him off. We're going to block off the inside as well. Maximise our exit. Speed through a little bit of grass. Lose a little bit of time in the apex. But we look to be getting away relatively scot-free. This is actually one of the races where not a great deal happens in this race. This is probably, out of all the races to record on, this is one that wasn't a great deal. So yeah, we've kind of settled in. The Red Bull's just going to make his getaway. I'm going to slowly just do what I want. Just going to slip into my own little no man's land in second place. I'm happy with that. Just going to mess around the fuel. We're just going to speed up a bit because there is honestly nothing really going on. Yeah, so we're just going to fast forward this part here just because this race really did fall into its own sense of dullness. Nothing really happened after this part. I ended up in second, finished in my own little no man's land. So we're just going to jump ahead straight to Hanoi. Dreadful track, utterly dreadful track. I hate this track. Obviously because of COVID, we haven't seen this track in real life. But honestly, on the game, I hate this track. There are so many different parts. So we're gonna get shunted beautifully. We're gonna get shunted again from the left-hand side. We're gonna get shunted again from the right-hand side. And then just going to try and stay out of trouble, just go really wide. That Ferrari's there. He is going to play a vital part of this video. Oh, sorry, this race. Somehow that's an illegal overtake. I don't know how, so I'm going to slow down and give him the place back. James has now appeared behind me, and Matt is just in front of us. Again, Matt is also going to play a vital part in this track, this part of the video. Keep an eye on him. He drives like a bastard in this. I'm not bitter. You're bitter. So, hugging it around the corner. We're just going to accelerate down. We're just going to stay in the tow as well. Like I said, very, very powerful tow. The overtake function is also extremely overpowered in this game. We're just going to stay with them. I'm going to go for a late lunge, try to take them both, going around the outside, and then I'm going to overcook the exit, cut across Matt, lose both places. Absolute made a fool of myself. So we're just going to fast forward again here because these little horrible little sections, nothing happens. But then I decide to dive up the inside of Matt and just try and brush him out of the way. But he is having absolutely none of it. So we decide to go side by side on the worst part of the track. There's a little kink in the barrier there, which I clip, I think, every single time I go past it. Matt decides to go on the inside for a very, very tough left-hander. So I brake hard, give him the space. He doesn't need the space, so he uses the right-hand side on the exit instead. And we're going to go side by side through here. I'm going to brake harder just to try and get past him. And then I'm going to celebrate getting past him by driving into the barrier and letting him back through. It's good driving. No, it's really good. Yeah, I guess it's the heat of battle. The heat that I haven't picked up a penalty yet. But don't worry, that will come later. Driving through, we're just going to fast forward this little straight just because nothing really happens. But then in the braking zone, we see Matt dive in and he's become everything that he sought to destroy. And he absolutely harpoons me out the way and then just gives me a little nudge just to make sure that I didn't completely spin out, but to make sure that he was still in front of me. Complete bastard driving, fitting into the online lobby perfectly. It's like Matt has been there the entire time. He's been a secret agent. But I'm having absolutely none of it. We're going to go side by side through this, I don't know, we're going to call it an S section. Why not? We're going to go side by side through here. Squeaky bum time all round. I'm going to give a really odd line to try and cut in front of him, which I do. And then try and power through to that barrier. Oh, I didn't clip that little barrier thing. I try and get through, and the Ferrari wants none of that as well. So he's going to rub me against the wall. I did say at the beginning, this Ferrari is going to play a part of this race. Don't worry, his part isn't finished yet. He's going to dive across, so I'm going to seek up the inside. He's going to clip me into the wall, and that is race over. Thank you, Ferrari. That was nice of you. I didn't want to win anyway. Didn't want to get any places. I'm here to amuse. I'm here to be battered around. So we're just going to fast forward again. At this time, I am down in 13th. Still ahead of James, though. So, you know, that's something. This was actually, as well, the first time that James said he's ever been into a lobby, in an F1 lobby. So, yeah, that's good. This is the first bit of taste that he's had inside an F1 lobby. Isn't it? Isn't it about to fire? Isn't it grand? I'm going to try and overtake this Merc. I'm going to send him the dummy. Go a little bit left and a little bit right. Very late on the brakes. By that time, I'm like, fuck it. And I'll just cut the corner. Give myself a penalty. But it doesn't matter. None of it matters. Nothing else matters. So we're just going to go down here, down to the back straight. And there's a car waiting for me. You can see he's going to try and take me out. And denied. The racing point sent spinning to the nether realm. Spinning off to the shadow realm, and he has absolutely missed that opportunity to try and take me out. Fast forward again, we're on to the 4th lap, we're coming to the end of it, we're going to join it through and then get to the end. Well, we're just going to fast forward it through and get to the end of the race. Another corner cutting penalty, but this time, like I said, I don't really care. I've got 4 seconds overall, it doesn't matter. I'm having a race by myself, it doesn't matter. Now, there's a little bit of argy-bargy going on in front of me. The Red Bull and I think the Haas, I can't really tell. So, yeah, there's been a race win. It's one of the McLarens, as we remember from earlier in the video. They've probably barged everyone out the way to get it. We're just going to go left, go right. There's a car that's waiting over there. I then get into the top 10 because of him not being there. Cutting around the corner, yeah, and that is Hanoi done. Not a great track. Hanoi, ironically, rhymes with annoy because this race just annoys you. How's that for a bit of high quality journalism? Hanoi annoys. Now, we'll move on here to our last race in Australia. Well, James actually rage quit during this race, although I'm pretty sure I don't have to pinpoint the exact moment he actually rage quits because you could probably tell. Anyway, so the race has started. I've dived off the line. I'm down in 18th. There's a battle. There's many battles. I clipped the Ferrari very slightly and get a penalty for it as he was off the track and coming back on. I had nothing to do with that. I had no part of that. But I get the penalty. But this is how the F1 online lobbies tend to work, really. I'm going to go around the outside of... I'm not too sure if that was... That might have been Matt, but I'm not too sure. I'm up to 11th now. Going around the corner... There's everyone partying like the Red Sea. I'm going to go on the grass for absolutely no reason. I just felt like being a lawnmower, which, let's be honest, the Williams this year, you know, are essentially expensive lawnmowers, so that's fine. We have somehow climbed to 5th from 18th off the line, so that is a brilliant start. Obviously helped by the Red Fury of the lobby. They're going to battle for no reason, and then we speed up and we realise that's actually James. He's changed into our teammate, and he's driving like a clown. So that's great. He's going to go slow, so because it's James, I decided to slow down, not punt him. The Renault has now appeared, so I'm trying to battle the Renault, trying to stay in front of him, but also trying to get past James, but also trying to not drive into James. There's a little bit of push between me and the Renault, but nothing too spicy, just enough. James goes into the corner, goes deep. I go deeper into the corner. The Renault then tries to open the door with his nose. I'm just going to push him wide a bit, close the door just a little bit forcefully. Luckily, he backed out. Otherwise, that could have been a bit dangerous for both of us. So I'm hunting down James again. I need to look for a window. He's gone very wide. There is my window. Making sure not to jump across the curb, and then I'm ahead of James. And that is job done. But now we're going to pinpoint the part where James decides to rage quit. He's been punted. He's battling with the Renault. And he's lost the breaking point completely, and that's James tumbling down the order. He claims that he was punted, but I don't know on the evidence of that. It's like he just left or lost his breaking point completely. Fast forwarded all the way to the end of the race because absolutely nothing happened after that. James disappeared, and so did the fun apparently. So yeah, that is the end of the Drivers' Championship. We joined midway through, and somehow I've come out in 2nd place, purely just trying to keep myself out of trouble. If you like that, don't forget to give us a like, give us a subscribe, and yeah, tell us you liked it, and then we'll create some more.